What if I told you that a simple census could destroy an entire nation? Could counting people by their identity turn a prosperous country into a war zone? Beirut was once called the Paris of the Middle East, a thriving, elegant trade hub. Today, it's a fractured nation torn apart by conflict. And it all started with one decision: conducting an ethnic census. The same pattern is now being applied to India. And if we don't understand this strategy, we're walking straight into the same trap. Lebanon, the paradise lost. Let me take you back to Lebanon in the 1940s. Beirut, Lebanon's capital, was so magnificent around the 1950s that it was nicknamed the Paris of the Middle East. Just as Chennai, Surat, and Kolkata are key Indian ports, Beirut was the commercial hub for Jordan, Syria, and the Middle East. When Lebanon gained independence from France in 1943, 5 main communities lived together peacefully: Maronite Christians, Greek Orthodox Christians, Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, and the Jewish community. People focused on trade, prosperity, and nation building. But then came the decision that would destroy everything: the ethnic census. Fatal census decision. The Lebanese government conducted a census by religious and ethnic identity, revealing Maronite Christians as the largest group, followed by Sunni and Shia Muslims, then Greek Orthodox Christians. Based on these results, the National Pact allocated political power according to each group's population size. Here's how they divided the power. Presidency was reserved for Maronite Christians, the majority. Prime Minister's post given to Sunni Muslims, the second largest. The Speaker of Parliament was assigned to Shia Muslims. Deputy positions were given to Greek Orthodox Christians, while military roles were distributed to the Druze community. They even created a parliamentary representation ratio: 6 Christians for every 5 Muslims. This was the beginning of the end. The dangerous pattern. Here's where we need to understand a strategic pattern that has been consistent for over 1,000 years. When Islam's religious minority reaches different population percentages, their approach changes. At 10%, they present themselves as loyal patriots. This stage is called Al-Taqiyya or Darul Harab. At 20%, still patriotic, but faith becomes more important: Darul Islam. At 30%, religious identity outweighs national identity and is still called Darul Islam. At 40%, religion becomes dominant, patriotism fades, and calls for Darul Aman begin. At 50%, they claim national ownership under Darul Aman. This is not a theory, but a well-documented historical pattern dating back to the Pact of Umar, which gave non-Muslims in Islamic territories 3 choices: death, conversion to Islam, or paying jizya tax while living as second-class citizens. The demographic manipulation. The Muslims in Lebanon realized they were just one step away from parity. If their numbers grew slightly, they could equal or surpass the Christian population and potentially control the entire country. And that's exactly what happened. During the Cold War period, 1975 to 1990, Palestinian refugees were allowed into Lebanon in large numbers, just like how Rohingya refugees have infiltrated India today. These refugees, claiming persecution, demanded citizenship and voting rights. Then demographic balance shifted rapidly. The 6:5 ratio became 6:6, then 6:7 in favor of Muslims. The result? A brutal 15-year civil war, destruction of Lebanon. By the end of that war, Lebanon was completely transformed. Beirut, once called the Paris of the Middle East, became a war-torn ruin filled with bomb blasts and sectarian conflicts. The statistics are horrifying. 150,000 people died between 1975 and 1990. The economy crumbled, famine and poverty spread, and mass migrations began. All this chaos started with one decision: the ethnic census. India, walking into the same trap. Now, the same strategy is being applied to India through caste enumeration. Think about this carefully. Just a few years ago, the BJP and RSS opposed caste-based censuses. Other parties supported them. Now, suddenly the same BJP is advocating for caste enumeration, and their supporters are busy explaining its so-called benefits. It isn't a masterstroke. This is manipulation. Here's the uncomfortable truth. All political parties operate under the same global agenda. They create the illusion of opposition to fool the public. Whether a country becomes Christian-dominated or Islamic, it serves the same global elite who thrive on conflict and division. The real agenda. Ethnic censuses are not beneficial. They are weapons of division. The caste enumeration being pushed in India will create detailed demographic data that will be manipulated. It will open pathways for minorities like Islam to enter the reservation system and essentially set the stage for demographic politics, just like in the case of Lebanon, eventually leading to the same fate, turning India into an Islamic state through systematic mass manipulation. The global pattern. This pattern is being repeated worldwide. Conflict is essential to their plan because peace doesn't serve their agenda. Lebanon's downfall was triggered by its national pact and ethnic census. The Indian government's imposed census is a vehicle for applying the same blueprint to India. As Hindus, as Indians, and as people who love this nation, it is our responsibility to understand this conspiracy and fight it with everything we have. We cannot let India become another Lebanon. We cannot let our cities become like war-torn Beirut. We cannot have our country fall apart because we failed to recognize the pattern. The choice is ours. The time is now. Don't let them destroy India the way they destroyed Lebanon. The greater the number, the greater the share. This isn't just a slogan. It's a warning for our country's future.